do we want to jump into AFC over-unders? Aaron, this is your territory, man. Take us away. Where are we starting? What book are we on, first and foremost? What book?
So excited. The draft's over. Free agency's over. It's time to start digging into the odds. Let's look at where the value is. Let's look at who we like, who we don't like. All right, so we're gonna take this division by division. So,
and I guess one. I don't want to interrupt. I want to be a gentleman here. We are, I guess, a friendly wager amongst the three of us here. So we're all picking 3 locks per division. We're going to refer back to this conference. Excuse me. 3 locks per conference. As we get through this, we're going to refer back to this as the season goes on. I'll throw this dare out there. Like, if whoever if I lose, like, I'll just eat like a ghost pepper on like a live stream. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I want some odds here. I want some skin in the game. Like, give me something.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely.
How about that? It's like a dare of like the winner's choice. Yeah. Can we all agree on this? Just some stakes.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
What happens if I renege on this and don't eat a ghost pepper on a live stream? Because I really don't want to do that.
That's fine, man. We'll find out something else. Polar plunge. We'll figure it out.
There we go. Now you're talking my language. All right. Well, let's start with the AFC East. We'll start over on the right coast here. Obviously, Buffalo, breakout team last year. We have New England, had their first losing season in quite a while, missed the playoffs first time in quite a while. That happened. Up and coming Miami, and then we have the Jets. So let's dig into it. Obviously, Bills favored to win the division, minus 155. They're slated for 10.5 wins, which is 2.5 wins less than they had last year. And there's an extra game on the docket this year. I don't know. It looks like Vegas is factoring in a little bit of regression for the Bills. Do you guys see that coming? Do you think Josh Allen takes a step back? What do you see coming here?
Hey, I'm gonna let you lead because I'm gonna come in hot here.
Yeah, sure. I think the division's gonna be better this year. New England's gonna be better. Miami, I'm really liking Miami. And I don't know, it's just I think they might take a step back, but I don't think I like Allen personally. I think he's gonna have a good year, but what was the number again? I missed that because there was a train going by. 10.5. I'd hit the over. Why not?
We got an over.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
with the extra game, why not?
Drew?
All right, so 2 things I want to hit along here. One, Josh Allen is apparently a visor guy now. I saw pictures of him wearing a visor. That's just the most that's the bitchiest thing I've ever seen. And I also saw him chug a beer on PMT, and I can't. So I think Josh Allen's kind of a little bitch. I'll lead with that.
He was a slow chugger.
Big time slow chugger. Big time slow. The mountains were blue, and he was still a slow chugger. I cannot respect. I don't want to go to war, particularly in a place like Buffalo with a slow chugger. That being said, they have the 3rd easiest schedule projected. Pick up an extra game. They added a couple skill position guys in the draft. They took a running back early, if I remember correctly. Did they get from LSU?
No, I don't think they took a running back. I have them. They went DN offensive tackle first.
You're right. They were trying to trade. That's right. They said that in the draft. They were trying to trade up to get to Etienne from Clemson. Excuse me.
No, yeah, he went to Jacksonville.
He did. Yeah, he did. Regardless, I'll take the over. I think they're probably going to win 12 games. It's a tougher division, but if you look at how they start, they get Pittsburgh easy, then they get at Miami, which could be tough, but then they have Washington. They get Houston. By week 9, they're probably 5-3. Just looking at the schedule here. So they're over.
It's a no play for me. I think that there's a big difference between the way that they came into last year, kind of unexpected. Nobody knew if Allen was for real. Diggs was kind of a castaway from the Vikings, and they just showed up and showed out all season long. Now you're the hunted. Now you have to hold off a hot Miami team up and coming. Now you have to hold off a retooled Patriots team. Now everybody's got Buffalo circled on the calendar. I understand why you guys are going over, but it's not where I'm going to be putting any of my capital this offseason.
You got to pick. You got to pick. You got to give us something.
Then I'm going under. I'm going under. Just to be contrarian on this, I will go under 10.5. I think that D coordinators have had a long offseason to take a look at Josh Allen and to throw some kinks into coverages and things like that. He doesn't seem like the brightest guy. He kind of reminds me of like a black lab, like a really energetic, like young black lab, just like running through the marsh and so fired up, but then we'll just like, run smack into a tree or like fall into a swamp or something. Like, doesn't just strike me as the brightest guy. Enthusiastic fella, big, strong kid. Is he the smartest guy? Is he the smartest guy in the room? If he is, it's not a room that you want to be in. Okay. So that's what I'm going to say about the Bills. I'm going under 10.5.
Jesus, I thought I came in hot. You called him a dog. Is somebody tracking the who's picking what here? We got to keep a running tally.
We just need to we'll just track our locks. We don't need to keep track of every pick. It's not a lock for me. Over or under. I'm going to lean under, but it's not a lock for me.
All right.
We'll cycle through these other teams a little faster, and we don't want to be here all night. We got Miami 9.5. They brought in Will Fuller. They brought in some defensive guys. I think they traded for a linebacker maybe. And then they took Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips, a couple of Jalens in the first round of the draft. What do you guys think about Miami?
Drew, you go first on this one.
So it all hinges on Tua, man. Is his hip finally right? Did they get back to doing some more of the four-vert stuff that we saw him run at Alabama? Trent Dilfer was talking about him. They worked out together before the draft. He's worked with him, I think, since he was might have been in high school, if I remember right. But he has on the record saying that the things that Tua can do in a four-vert spread scheme, the way he moves the safeties, etc., it's some of the highest level work of anyone who's ever worked with. And I think that's pretty high praise, right? I mean, that's some impactful stuff. So if he is right, if he's finally the athletic guy that we see them finally adding these like speed weapons that they lacked last year. I think I love what they're doing. I'm writing an article as we speak about how much I love what the Dolphins are doing. 9.5 feels reasonable, but I'm actually going to go under here. I think this is that team that on paper looks really good. They're building a culture. They're doing all these things, but those take time. And they're going to play some tough games, man. Like we just said, they're going to play Buffalo twice. They get a retooled New England twice. You get a Jets that at least kind of like sort of seem like they don't know what they're doing, but they're at least going to.
Last year, at the
right? They're going to be better than they were last year. And I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, man. I mean, they get the Raiders, they get the Colts, they play Tampa, they play, the Giants, which is Tennessee. I mean, I don't know, man. I honestly have them pegged to probably 9-8, and I feel like that's probably where they're going to lie.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. 9-8. Like you said, it's all on Tua when it comes down to it. They added Will Fuller, which he's going to be all right for Tua, I think. I think the defense will also be a big factor in this. If they can remain how they were last season and the offense can improve, then they have the possibility to hit the over. But I also like Tua not having Fitzpatrick breathing down his neck all season as well. So I don't know. I would go under 9.5 if that's what it's at. Like I said, 9-8, like you said, Drew. I think that's bang on there.
I'm going under as well. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Again, I'm contrarian to you guys. Tua didn't show me anything last year. He was like a glorified game manager. They did not let him throw the ball downfield a lot. Drew's buying into some coach speak from an old washed-up quarterback that I don't believe in.
Oh,
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that team was so much better and more explosive with Fitzpatrick. And now they bring in Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle, who are downfield burners, and they didn't let this kid throw the ball at all downfield last year. And I'm assuming it's because he couldn't do it. If he was able to air it out, they were fighting for a playoff spot. They would have had him air it out. and maybe they were just treating him with kid gloves, but he's going to need to prove it to me before I really am a Tua believer, because in the NFL, he hasn't really shown much at all so far. So
hold on. Who was he? Greg Camarillo? Who the hell was he throwing to last year?
That's fair.
What downfield threats do they have? They had the kid from Louisville that finally turned it on and caught that nice extension. Someone help me with his name, please.
Parker.
But like, thank you. Sure, that's great. Who else do they have?
What was their tight end's name again?
The same guys that Fitz was throwing for like 400 yards a game to. That's who they had.
Oh. All right.
I'm just saying.
Moving on. We're all under. So,
Pats.
Right, who's next?
Taking this division.
Oh, okay. Is that your lock? Is that your first of your locks?
It's probably maybe fifth on my list. So if we're doing 3 locks, it's not going to make the cut. But I think New England's back. I think they probably get Julio. And I think they go back to terrorizing the Bills like they have for a long time.
What's their number?
Their number's 9. I'm obviously going over.
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm under on the Bills and Dolphins. I'm going over on the Pats. Jets numbers. Jets are at 6 wins. I don't know. That's probably about right. I guess if they buy into Robert Saleh, they might win 7 games.
So the Pats at 9, I'm going over. I think the Pats probably win 10 games. I think they probably go 10-7. I think that's one that halfway through the year, you're going to be looking at and thinking like, oh, what the hell am I doing here? They had 7 opt-outs last year, all on the defensive side of the ball. They spent a ton of money on the offensive free agency. And regardless, regardless of what we think about Belichick, he's not a quarterback whisperer, but they still have at least someone now in Mac Jones. You have some. Cam was awful. He was terrible last year.
Really bad.
Some of those throws where he's off his back foot and just throwing ducks. I mean, it was bad. Anyways, I digress. I'm going over on the Pats, and I'm actually going to make
Judon guy from the Ravens, that outside linebacker.
They did.
Yeah, they got him and Jalen Mills from Philly. So they spent money on both sides of the ball here.
Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going over on New England, and that is a liggity lock.
Oh, a lock.
Okay.
All right. Mark that down, Hayden.
Yeah, I'm writing down our locks here. So I'm going to hit over as well on the Patriots. I don't think it's going to matter who they have at quarterback, if it's Cam Newton or Mac Jones. I think Belichick really did not like how last season went. So he's going to make sure that doesn't repeat itself. And yeah, I don't know. I think their O-line will be good. I'm not going to lock up New England, though. Don't have the balls for that. But yeah. And then you said the Jets was at 6, correct?
Yeah. Jets are at 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under on that, and I'm gonna lock that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of trust in the Jets. And I don't know. Are we just gonna expect that? No, like I hope he's successful, but are we just gonna like bet that his first year in a franchise that has struggled for a long time he's just gonna magically turn it around? I don't know about that. So
okay, hold on. So they have at Carolina week 1. They get Denver week 3. Oh man, they might be 0. You might be right. They might be 0-5. That might be bad. They go at Carolina, New England.
Automatically going to lose to Denver?
At Denver? Do you think in week 3 they're going to travel well?
Their quarterback is still, what's his face? That sucks, right? He's still a terrible quarterback, and Vic Fangio still their coach, and we're sure that they're gonna lose to Denver.
Okay, first off, Drew Lock knows every word to a Jeezy song, so let's not disparage Drew Lock.
Does he know second the playbook? Because I don't think he does.
No, but he puts on for his city, man. All right. They then have Tennessee and then at Atlanta. I don't know, man. They very well could be 1-4, 0-5 for that stretch.
Could win 3 of those games. I don't know. We'll see. I think here just to give you a little bit of behind the curtain what I'm thinking here. I think Robert Saleh is one of those really hard charging, enthusiastic locker room coaches, kind of like a Jim.
He's a player's coach. He's a player's coach for sure.
In the first year, that's where he's going to be most effective. They got a new quarterback. They got a new coach. He's fired up. They're all going to be fired up. I think the effort's going to be at max level. It's years 3 and 4 when you look at those energetic coaches and the veterans on the team start getting a little tired of the shtick, a little tired of the guy telling them to hit people harder in training camp and stuff like that. And that's when it kind of wears thin. But I think the first year is where coaches like this can be the most effective. So I think they can ride some momentum to maybe 7 wins.
Their quarterback, their OC this year is Mike LaFleur. Miles Austin is their wide receivers coach. Look at that. How about come up from Miles Austin? Good for him. Good for him. I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy it. I'm still going under.
Eagles, home to the Jags, home to the Bengals. I'm seeing some wins here.
They're not winning more than 6. I'm also going under. I agree with Hayden wholeheartedly on this. Also, their quarterback is 12 years old.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, how do we even know that 13-year-old baby-faced quarterback is gonna make it work? So
that picture that he posted on Twitter on draft night looked like an actor in like a high school musical version of the NFL draft.
Yeah, like
it looked like a Zac Efron knockoff that they were like, yeah, and then Troy lived out his dream and made it to the NFL. Like that's what it looked like. Oh my God!
Jason Street made it to the NFL from Friday Night Lights. Like that's what he would look like.
110%. Yes. All right. Next division. Who we got?
Let's go AFC North. I have a couple locks in this division. I'm just going to put that out there. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting divisions to watch in football this year. So let's kick it off. Let's see. We got the Ravens. The Ravens are plus 115 to win the division, and their number is at 11. How you guys feeling about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens?
Go ahead.
Oh boy,
you're smiling. You're smiling.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know about the Ravens. I like them. I think 11. I don't know. It's kind of weird with this extra game. You know, the first season, how this extra game is gonna play out. Like, what is that? Like 11-6. Like that's gonna look weird. But I don't know. I guess how's their schedule? I don't have it up in front of me. Like,
they have the 24th hardest schedule based on last year's win percentage.
Okay, screw it. Go over. Okay.
I'm sorry. So like they have one of the hardest schedules.
Oh, okay.
Hardest.
I see what
flip
you
that.
Mean. Okay.
Turn around.
Flip that. My bad. On the chart, they're almost red. They're like pissy red on the chart.
Oh yeah. Okay. So on the one I'm looking at, which is off of the NFL Instagram, so probably the best place for it. They do have the second just on opponent win percentage. So if it was at 11, I'm gonna go under. I don't know, Bateman for Lamar, he'll be probably all right, but I'm gonna go under. Now that I hear that their strength of schedule, I'll go under. I'll flip. How about you?
So, Aaron, is this one of your locks before I absolutely go completely against your take, because I can feel this happening already?
It's not. Ravens are not one of my locks.
Okay. I think the Ravens are under. And honestly, can we have Trust Circle, right? Like I said, only friends and family are going to listen to this first episode, so whatever.
Sure.
Are we sure is Lamar Jackson a great NFL quarterback? Is he even like a good NFL quarterback? Like he's an incredible athlete. Like he's a level 9,000 Super Saiyan athlete. Has the league kind of figured him out? If you look at where he threw the ball last year specifically, there is nothing on the outside. Everything they do is up the middle of the field. So I'm torn between has the league figured him out, and it just kind of is what it is, and they play this weird smash mouth brand of football and da-da-da-da-da. And like the league they're just going to catch some wins in the regular season because they're going to try harder than everybody else at this one specific thing, and then come playoff time they get busted. Or like, are they just not going to be that good this year? I mean, I'm going under. I think that they're 10-7. maybe 9-8. I think this year is still going to be weird. There still might be some like COVID stuff that pops up in here somewhere along the way. I don't know if they're making everybody get vaccinated or not. No, under here.
That's a crutch argument. I'm going to kick that COVID thing away, pretend I didn't hear it. But I do agree with you. I think that Lamar Jackson is going to have to figure out how to be a little more prolific in the passing game. Yeah, and I think that's why they took the Bateman guy. They struck out on a couple of free agency wide receivers. They tried really hard to sign T.Y. Hilton, and there was one other guy. They
just drafted straight line burners. They didn't draft anybody with any real skill set. It was like, can you run fast in a straight line? Sure, here's a contract.
You're saying this about the Bateman kid, the wide receiver they took in the
No. I like Bateman a lot. I'm referring to the free agent receivers the free agent receivers that you're talking about. It's just like, didn't they sign John Brown at one point? Like, he was there for like a year.
Didn't they sign Sammy Watkins this year? Like, is he gonna save their franchise?
He was like their fourth. He was their fourth consolation prize. They missed on Hilton. They missed on somebody else. I honestly can't remember. But then, so they ended up, getting Sammy Watkins, and then they drafted Sammy from Minnesota.
Thick King Watkins. Sammy Thick 2 C's. You know how they sold him, right? They were like, "Hey, we have a really good crab cakes," and he was like, "Hell yeah! Where do I sign?"
But I guess ultimately, though, I'm with you that if he can't figure out how to spread the ball around in the air a little bit more. I mean, the defenses in the NFL are just so intelligent. They're so good. They catch on to your tendencies so quickly. You can't run this wildcat thing primarily forever. He is a super saiyan athlete. I'm 100% with you on that. If they're going to win more than 11 games, if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, he's going to need to evolve a little bit and stay one step ahead of defensive coordinators in the NFL.
Did you say super saiyan, like the color blue? You were like super color blue athlete? That's what you said.
What did you say? Super Saiyan?
Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan is a color, Dick. This isn't Sherwin-Williams.
Man, I don't know. I'll check the record for that.
Over under.
Just cut that out. But yeah, I'm going to lean under with the Ravens again. I don't like to take leaps of faith, generally speaking, with quarterbacks, unless I feel really strongly about it. And it's been a couple of years. I haven't really seen a lot of progression from him. As far as throwing the ball goes. So I'm going to lean under. I'm going to lean under with the Ravens.
Hayden, bring us home.
Yeah. Are you guys ready? I'm ready to hit you with the lock.
Hayden, go for the next one. No. I said under. I think I got this conversation started. So
yeah. Oh, my fault.
No, it's all good.
Hey, all right. You guys ready? Super Bowl champion Cleveland Browns. Just think about that. Let it roll
Jesus
down.
God, why are you the way you are? Why are you the way that you are?
I am on the Browns bandwagon so hard this year. And, I'm not a Cleveland fan. This is not a homer thing. I love Kevin Stefanski. I think he is getting the most out of that roster. He has everything just in such harmony with what's going on there. And I think it's really going under the radar what they did in free agency in the draft. Okay. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. All right. So they signed John Johnson and Troy Hill to the secondary in free agency. Not big names. PFF has them both in the top 7 at their respective positions of strong safety and cornerback. Okay.
Whoa. This man brings numbers. Okay. All
right. They also picked up Jadeveon Clowney, which I get it. He's not super productive, but hey, when's the last time you saw 2 number 1 overall picks on either side of the defensive line? Just throwing it out there. 2 overall. Myles Garrett and Clowney. All right. Okay, so let's look at.
When's he going to have a 10-sack season, though?
Probably never. If it hasn't happened by now, it's not going to happen. But then we look at the draft. They take the best cornerback, probably the best cornerback available besides the Surtain kid that went to Denver. They take Greg Newsome from Northwestern, Greg Newsome the second, I should say. And then they took the JOK guy.
I thought it was Greg Newsome,
Notre Dame linebacker. The Notre Dame linebacker. He's kind of like he plays like the Simmons guy from Clemson that went to Arizona. So yeah, I'm just saying they poured poured resources into the defensive side of things with the money they spent in free agency, with their first couple of draft picks. They totally retooled this defense. All they have, and I know anytime I mention something about the Browns being a legit contender, everybody just wants to say, well, Baker Mayfield. I think they have the perfect system set up to hide him as much as they can. He just needs to, they have a strong running game. They ran the ball. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but from the eye test, they ran the ball about as well as anybody last year with their kind of 1-2 punch. If Chubb stays healthy, Kareem Hunt is a ball player, plain and simple, just makes plays. They stack to the defense. I think this team can win the Super Bowl. And this is one of my locks. I'm just going to go with over on the wins for the Browns. We got 10.5, and they're plus 145 to win the division. Taking the Browns over 10.5. Lock.
Wow. This man pushed himself away from his chair. He was so – are you sweating? Are you okay? Little pit check, man. You all right? You okay? All right. All right. Yeah, pour the water. You made a lot of very good points there. And frankly, I agree with you with that division, particularly with Pittsburgh taking a step back, with Baltimore kind of being what they've been, not really adding a whole lot, and losing some pretty good defensive pieces. I think you couple that with the other teams, Cincinnati. I think that you are probably correct, and I'm going to go over as well. I'm not going to lock it like you did. I don't want to get that sweaty. You got pretty fired up there. But yeah, I will also take you over there.
They're plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to have some shekels on that. I'm going to tell you right now.
All right. You heard it here first.
I'm taking the over as well. I think I agree with all the points you made. One concern I would have, though, is last time I know that they are a totally new Browns team, I guess, with Kevin Stefanski. But last time that the Browns got a lot of hype in the offseason, they didn't do too hot in the season following. But like I said, I think it's a different Browns team, and I'll go over 10.5 wins as well.
All right. So what else we have in this? We have Pittsburgh and we have Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Right, we can burn through those. What are we going to talk? Oh, holy shit! Okay. Well,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Here's a pop quiz for you guys. When is the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers had a losing season?
It's not been in the Tomlin era because he went 8-8 once. He's, I don't know what, 2001 Tower sometime.
2003. So it's been almost 20 years.
They drafted Roethlisberger that year. Or the year before.
And 2021, record's going to be broken. This is a team that virtually did nothing in free agency. And I mean nothing. They re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster. End of list. I mean, at least, maybe they made some like practice squad, like lower level signings, but any kind of splash signing, anybody that was their biggest contract that they did in free agency. It was a 1-year, $8 million deal for Juju Smith-Schuster.
What was the nickname we found for him? Was it Doo-Doo Shit Poopster? Was that his nickname? I was like on Twitter for a day. I'm hijacking your take. I completely agree with you. I think that what's the number?
It's 8.5. So basically, Vegas
under.
Hayden?
Under.
I'm under as well. I know a couple of Steelers fans, and they don't even have faith in this team. So why the hell should I have faith in this team? I think their offensive line, is going to be absolutely terrible. I'm actually going to lock the under.
They lost both starting tackles.
Yeah. So good luck to Ben Roethlisberger, who's not going to have any time to throw, and a running back room that's thin at best. I mean, Najee Harris, that's who they added, right? But
well, they got Harris. Yeah, I was going to say they did. But again, they lost Bud Dupree. They lost Bud Dupree and Mike Hilton on the defensive side of things. They lost both of their starting right and left tackles. One of which Villanueva went to the Ravens, a divisional rival, insult to injury. Yeah. And they went total offense in the draft. They drafted the Freiermuth kid from Penn State in the second round after they took Harris.
Who I like.
They took a center from Illinois in the third round. So they lost a ton of defensive talent. They signed essentially nobody except for Juju. And they drafted all like offensive skilled guys. And maybe I think in Pittsburgh, maybe they're being a little arrogant. They believe their system, their style. They play so well in the trenches. They don't need the talent because they can coach up the lesser known guys to fill those roles. I think they have a losing season. I think Ben falls apart at the seams finally. I think Pittsburgh implodes this year. This is a lock for me, and I'm going. That's under 8.
Hey,
8 lock.
Look, Ben had the old new alarm syndrome like week 6 on last year. With the losses in the offensive line, I'm setting the over under at 5.5 weeks that he actually plays healthy this year. I think that he is just at Wingstop like every other day, just collecting checks and just getting out of here. I think he's done. It's over. Buckle up. Hard under.
Yep. Bengals 6.5. Any strong takes there?
I like the Bengals, but I'm gonna have to go under. I don't know. I would like for them to be good, but it's a tough division, and I'm gonna go under that.
So they have the 5th hardest strength of schedule. They catch Minnesota week 1. I'll be at that game. Skull. But then they catch Chicago. I mean, just look at their schedule. Like it gets harder the longer they go, and they end the season on a Chargers, San Francisco at Denver, Baltimore, Kansas City at Cleveland. That is murder.
That is
say what you want about Drew Lock and Denver not being great, but even them, like they're going to be beat to shit before they get there. Like that's going to be some ugly football.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna zig again or zag, whatever you want to say. I love Joe Burrow. And because I think Pittsburgh's gonna suck, because I think they're gonna split with the Ravens, I think I'm gonna go over here. And I'm gonna go 7 wins.
Do you think they're gonna split with? I do not think they're gonna split with the Ravens.
I don't think that. I don't think that either. No.
It's gonna be like one of those weird Thursday night games. Actually, I don't know. I should probably look at this.
Like a 9-7 Thursday night game would be terrific between those two. Like
it's gonna be a Thursday night game. Lamar is gonna be like in concussion protocol, and Burrow and the Bengals are gonna take him down.
Oh my god! All right, use your crutch argument. Here's your crutch argument. They faced a team with COVID issues. They catch an easy win. Come on. All right. Next division. Use your crutch argument. Next division. Go.
All right. Let's go to AFC South. This
Sure.
is it's pretty mediocre. There's not a whole lot of excitement going on here except for Trevor Lawrence and the fact that, as Drew said, Houston's taken 22 losses already and the season hasn't even started.
Yeah, man. Yeah, every lawsuit that Deshaun Watson has had filed against him is an L. They drafted like that kid from Stanford. Houston was like, yeah, Deshaun's probably not going to play quarterback. Like, we're fucked already, man. Like, here's Miles Davis or whatever the hell his name is. Whatever. That's a Rat Pack artist. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever their number is, under. Don't even tell me the number. I don't give a shit. It's under. 2 wins.
Yeah.
Under. Done.
Yeah, I agree. Deshaun Watson, could I speak, please? Is not going to be playing this year. Not a chance.
We're sure about that.
I think so.
He wasn't being deposed until 2022. You think the league's just going to shut it down?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah, under as well. I don't see them being good at all.
Just look, man, there's going to be a thing where we're going to get closer to the season starting and like 3 more lawsuits are going to surface. And it's just going to, it's going to be one of those things where the league is like, hey man, like you just can't play football this year. If Adrian Peterson got what he got for what happened with him, like, come on, that's completely factual.
Look, if Deshaun Watson plays football this year, they're going to win more than 4 games. They play the Jaguars twice.
If Deshaun Watson plays, I completely agree with you. But also, man, there's so much other weird stuff. I mean, there's the chaplain / GM. There's an owner that there's an owner that like looks like the My Pillow guy. Like there's so many things about the Texans I don't like. And even like if you're a franchise that effectively chases away your best player in JJ Watt ever. I mean, bar none, right? JJ Watt is the best player that has ever played in Houston. I mean, with this iteration of the franchise, Earl Campbell, etc., whatever. Yeah.
Mm.
But they chased him away. it is a franchise in absolute turmoil. I do not see anything else coming of this. And Deshaun Watson already said he doesn't want to play there.
Yeah.
So if you couple with, hey, I want to trade, and also, hey, I have this huge legal issue hanging over my head, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's not going to play.
What if I told you they signed Tyrod Taylor? Because they did.
17-0. First ever 17-0 season right there. If that's the case. I mean, let's be real.
Davis Mills isn't going to be under center for them, even if Watson doesn't play. I'm just saying.
Thank you for also pronouncing his name correctly. Tyrod Taylor somewhere is smiling because somebody finally got his name right. One lunged Tyrod Taylor. They ever sort that out? The whole needle thing that happened, the whole Justin Herbert scandal?
Yeah, they reinflated it. They blew it back up. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so Houston, we're all under. You went over.
I'm going to go over.
Just on the odd chance that
that Watson plays. Maybe Tyrod. Number 4. They played Jacksonville twice.
What's Jacksonville?
Okay, so that's their 2 wins.
Jacksonville's number is 6.5.
Oh wow, that is high.
Yeah, it is.
Same as the Bengals. They're getting so much love.
That feels like 2 wins too high.
I don't like it. I think Urban Meyer he's so arrogant. I don't know.
Everything that you said about Robert Saleh is the exact same situation here. So don't flip and flop. Don't do this. Urban Meyer.
Robert Saleh is like this massive, energetic tryhard. Urban Meyer is like a silent assassin.
Yeah, Urban Meyer's going to walk in and be like, hey, guys, I recruited almost all of you at some point in your life. You all know me. Come get on this bandwagon. We're going to go. I'm actually going to zag here. I bet they win 7 games.
I'm going to –
Trevor Lawrence is the truth, man.
Yeah. I'm going under. I don't know. I was listening to an interview with Urban Meyer with Chris Collinsworth, and I don't know. I don't really buy into what he's selling there. So I'm going under on the Jaguars. I don't know if we have to waste that much more time on the Jaguars, but if you guys have more to say, be my guest.
I'm under on Jags. I'm with you. We can move on. I'm under on Jags just because when you have such a, I'll use the buzzword, generational talent like Trevor Lawrence, you have so many reasons to shut him down if something goes mildly wrong. Like anytime a quarterback gets, like if an older guy gets an injury and they're trying for the playoffs, he's gonna gut it out and play through it. If Trevor Lawrence pulls a hammy and they have, a 1:00 game against the Broncos, he's not playing. Like they'll just nope, sit down. We're not risking our future. So those situations, they pop up in the NFL. It's guaranteed to happen. I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but I just think there's a very strong chance Lawrence does not play all 17 games. So I'm going to go under 6.5. Titans, let's keep it rolling.
Yep.
Titans plus 125 to win the division. They are at 9 wins, 2 short of what they did last year. What do you guys think about the Titans?
Drew, you go ahead first on this one.
Dude, I'm so lukewarm on the Titans. A couple things I like about the Titans. Mike Vrabel's virtual home draft debauchery. I missed that we didn't get to see that this year. His kid like taking a shit in the bathroom, reflecting in the mirror. Like I miss the one kid was wearing like a pencil costume for some reason. Like I don't give a shit. I'm in for all of it. They have Derrick Henry. Last year they feel like they almost underperformed. They're actually I've heard grumblings that they're actually making like a real push for Julio Jones, and him and AJ Brown is kind of terrifying. That is a real thing. What was the number 9?
9.
And I'm looking at scheduling here, man. They have the 7th easiest schedule. They open with Miami, the Jets, New Orleans, then they get Tampa, then Houston. I mean, they could be 4-1. I'm gonna go over.
The Colts and the Titans. The Colts and the Titans have the privilege of playing the Jags and the Texans 4 times total in the season, which is a big advantage.
And then if they split with each other, I mean that's 5 wins off cuff. So I mean, I'm gonna go over on them.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. I mean, Derrick Henry's kind of a cheat code, right? I mean, unless it's just in the last game of the year, then he goes for like 500 yards and goes over like 3,000 probably this year. But I like Derrick Henry. I think they trust Tannehill enough, and if they do get Julio Jones, then look out, because that's a scary good offense.
Yeah.
So I'm under on the Titans. And I'm a little afraid about them potentially getting Julio Jones, because then there's a good chance that I'm going to be wrong about this. But they let Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis walk, okay? And they didn't replace them. Like
Corey Davis sucked. What are you talking about?
He was a starting wide receiver, though, and they didn't sign anybody.
But that doesn't mean anything. Like, he wasn't good. The conversation all last year was how he was supposed to be the truth coming out of, was it Vanderbilt? And he sucked. He was not great.
No, he was not great, but he's a serviceable wide receiver 2 or 3 in the NFL. And now they have nobody. I mean, they have A.J. Brown, but they let Jonnu Smith, they let Corey Davis walk. And, you know, when we see these running backs have these dominant seasons, how many times does it happen back to back, or in this case, for a third time in a row?
Yeah.
It almost never does. This dude, Derrick Henry, has been carrying the ball like 400 times a year for the last 20 years since he was 5 years old.
First off, his high school stats are still one of the most incredible things in human existence.
It's unbelievable.
Go look him up if you haven't. It is bizarre.
Unbelievable.
Corey Davis had 65 catches for 984 yards. That was miles away his best season. The year before, they had 43 catches for 600 yards.
Receiver, low end 2, high end 3 wide receiver numbers.
And I argue that you can find that in lots of places. And I want to back up, and I want to get off your Titans argument here for a second. The backup quarterback for the Jaguars is Gardner Minshew. Have some respect.
Oh, I heard you forgot about the Minch.
Aaron's thinking Tim Tebow is going to suddenly go in there and play half the season for the Jags.
See, now that makes me want to go over on the Jags, because then if Lawrence does get hurt, Minshew's going to be like, I got a shot to get my job back. And he's going to go out there and just light it up. Or just he's auditioning for another team at that point in time. He's just out there slinging it.
Okay. So the Tennessee Titans signed Josh Reynolds to replace Corey Davis. Josh Reynolds was good for the Rams. He's also wearing number 00, which gives him a +5 attribute bump in every category. I can appreciate your Titans take, but I politely disagree. I don't see it.
I just think that they're putting so much hope and emphasis on Derrick Henry just having another otherworldly season, and you just don't see it happen consecutively like this in the NFL very much. If he goes down, who do they have? Tannehill now all of a sudden they have to be a pass first offense, and they have A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds. Who's their tight end? I have no idea. Josh Reynolds is their number 2 receiver. I don't know. It just seems very fragile to me. They things could go very, very wrong in Tennessee. Vrabel's supposed to be this mastermind defensive coach, and they had one of the worst defenses in football last year. I don't know.
So they let Jonnu Smith go, but Anthony Firkser was the 7th ranked tight end via PFF. I hear you, but I still think they're going to win more than 9 games in that division. I think they're going to win more than 9 games.
All right. Yeah. All right.
So the crown jewel of the division, the Indianapolis Colts. What's the number here?
Let's talk about the Colts. Their number is 9.5. They won 11 games last year.
Yeah.
Let's see. They are even money to win the division, and I'm just going to throw this out there: plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, the Super Bowl feels like a lot, but I appreciate your value play. This is actually one of my locks, and it's over. I've been saying this since week 12 of last year that they were going to trade for Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz is 80% of what he was the last time that he was with Frank Reich in Philadelphia in 2017, pre-ACL tear, they're AFC Championship game contenders. And I firmly believe that. Chris Ballard is one of the best teams in football. You've seen what they've been doing. They build from the trenches inside out. The defense is young. It's fun. And if they had someone other than Old Man Rivers who really could have carried them through. Last year, the offense was great when they got a lead early and they could do some other things. But at the minute they got down and had to push the ball in a 2-minute drill, an old quarterback looked really, really old. I think that Frank Reich is going to simplify what Wentz was doing in Philadelphia. Frank is great, and guys like Phillip and Jacoby Brissett have talked about it. He's really good at scheming in if-then decisions. So you'll hear a lot about cutting the field in half. It's not always a bad thing in the NFL. You'll see waggles and things like that where they do it on purpose. But it's if the defender does this, then you throw it here, and it's A/B routes in a ran. And that's where Wentz really, really excel. He's got all the physical tools, but if you can simplify the game for him a bit in a way that's creative, he's going to be really effective. So, long-winded answer: over, lock, tattoo it on my chest. Firmly believe in this one.
Locked. I love it. I'm over as well on the Colts. I think that Ballard, they're catching a lot of flack for not picking up a left tackle in the draft. They did end up with Fisher, who, like you said, if his Achilles works out, that's going to be a huge move. I think Ballard, this is a classic case of everybody playing checkers and he's playing chess. There's this quarterback arms race. I mean, of course, always in the NFL, but the AFC, if you look at the quarterback talent in the NFL is super lopsided by conference. You have Pat Mahomes, crown jewel. You have Josh Allen. You have Lamar Jackson. You have the young guys with Lawrence and Wilson. You have Justin Herbert. You have Deshaun Watson. So there's just so many really good quarterbacks in the AFC. And instead of overpaying, going after somebody, or trying to trade up in the draft to take somebody, Chris Ballard's like, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm gonna just boost this pass rush out of control. Went back-to-back pass rushers in the draft. I'm not going to try to get a better quarterback than you. I'm just going to try to neutralize the quarterbacks that you guys have. This Kwity Paye guy from Michigan is an animal, and
Get litty with Kwity. Get litty with Kwity.
Really excited to see him do some work. This Deo guy from Vanderbilt, again, another Achilles situation here. It seems like the Colts know something about Achilles repair that we do not, because they put some major emphasis on guys coming off Achilles injuries. And if half of them, if one of those two pan out, they're going to be in really good shape. People make a big deal about, oh, Wentz was so bad last year. Can Wentz even be as good as Phil is this year? People are forgetting the Colts have a fantastic backfield and just an absolute bulldozing offensive line. They don't need Wentz to do a ton. They don't need him to throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. They need him to make good decisions, not turn the ball over, and just kind of manage the game a little bit. I'm over on the Colts.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like you said, the offensive line in Philadelphia last year was largely or a huge reason why Wentz struggled, right? Like he was getting sacked left and right. So move him into an environment with a coach who he knows. He's going to be able to run an offense that will work for him, a defense that's good. I'm going over as well.
All right.
It always makes me nervous when we're all in agreement. That means we're all going to be wrong.
I don't know, man. This one seems pretty cut and dry. As long as the Colts stay healthy, they're the best team in that division. And based on the other numbers that we talked about, that's 5 wins immediately. I mean, that's if they're splitting with Tennessee. That's 5 wins. And you got to find 4 other wins. They're middle of the road in terms of schedule. They catch their out-of-conference schedule is actually pretty brutal. But they oh, God, it's actually really bad. I should have looked at Seattle, the Rams.
I thought this was your lock. Did you not look at this?
Holy
shit.
Holy
tattoo it
now.
Holy I believe he said tattoo it on his chest, right? So
call a cosmetic surgeon. Good God. So they go Seattle, Rams, then at Tennessee, at Miami, at Baltimore, Houston, then at San Francisco, Tennessee. Oh, shit. Locked. On my chest, man.
No,
rolling with it.
I looked at this also. I think there's going to be really good value on the Colts about a month into the season to place a bet on them to win the division, because they could very likely be 2-3 in their first 5 games, but the schedule lightens up a little bit after that. So they're home to the Seahawks, Rams, at Titans, at Dolphins, at Ravens. So that's kind of a brutal opening schedule. But down the stretch, it's pretty great. Their last 5 games: at Houston, home to the Patriots, at Arizona, home to the Raiders, at the Jaguars. That's pretty soft. So if the odds balloon and get very, there could be some really good value in like early October on the Colts to win the division, especially if Tennessee starts hot like they did last year.
That's a good point, man.
I digress. Let's move on to the AFC West. We got to keep it rolling here, boys.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
AFC West.
All right. Well, we got to start with the Chiefs. I mean, any conversation in the AFC West and really in the AFC for that matter has to start with the Chiefs. Their number is 12.5. do you guys got?
Oh God, under that, no way.
They won 14 last year.
I know they won. They got one of the toughest schedules in football. Chargers got better. I'm looking at the rest of it now. So, their first 5 are brutal. Cleveland, at Baltimore, the Chargers, at Philly, which, yeah, sure. But then they get Buffalo. I mean, I don't know, man. So I feel as if the Chiefs now they're the LeBron-led team in the NBA, right? They are. We won a Super Bowl. We made it to another one that if our offensive line didn't just evaporate, we probably would have won. Sure. And then they've done it before. They still have Andy Reid. They still have Pat Mahomes. They're not going to show a ton through the regular season, I don't think. We're still going to have things. Mahomes is going to put these gaudy numbers. And ESPN is just going to, absolutely fawn over everything. He looked at a referee before he threw the ball. Oh my God. But I honestly think that they'll probably take it pretty easy. And I don't know, man. At 12.5, I could see them winning 12. I think 12 is probably the number.
That's where I am too. Yeah.
So I'm going to go under there, man.
Yeah, I agree. I 12. I don't see them only losing 4 games. So 12, I don't see them losing 6 either. So I'll say it one more time. 12 wins is where I'm at for the Chiefs. They did improve the O-line lots, which will be good because we saw how they theoretically they made moves to help improve the offensive line, but they needed help there after what happened in the Super Bowl. So I'm going under. Wow. How do you feel about them, Aaron?
So interesting stat about the Chiefs. 9 games last year, they won by a touchdown or less. 7 points or less, including playoffs. 9 games. They won some nail biters. But the thing is, that's not by accident. I mean, Mahomes is the best closer in the game right now. I don't know. Assuming you think he's usurped Rodgers.
Yeah. What world do you live in? 3 years ago. Yeah.
All right, fine. They traded for Orlando Brown. They signed Joe Thuney, so they have a little more protection for him. They still have Travis Kelce, who's the biggest mismatch in the game right now. They still have Tyreek Hill, who you have to double cover. The rookie running back kid, he's going to have a little bit bigger holes to run through. The game's probably going to have slowed down for him a little bit. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over on this, basically because I think that the Raiders and the Broncos are going to take a step back this year, in my opinion. I know the Chargers are going to be good, but 12.5, you're saying with an extra game, they're still going to win, a couple of games less than they did last year. I don't see it happening with Mahomes. There's nothing like tricky or fluky about him. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time already. I mean, he's a thoroughbred and he has terrific people to throw the ball to. I'm going over 12.5 on the Chiefs.
Yeah. And my argument is not that, Pat Mahomes is not what we think he is or what you're saying he is. I think that it's teams when they have done what they've done the last 2 years, who have been blessed with the health they've had the last 2 years, are just they take games off. Not every game is going to matter to them. They're going to be in the playoffs and they're going to be of the mindset they just want to be healthy when they get there. Which is why I think there's going to be games this year where all right, well, we took we took an L to Pittsburgh on a Thursday night, whatever. It's fine. And they keep it rolling. I don't see it, man. 13 games is a lot of games.
Yeah. A lot of games.
13-4. I mean, you're probably right. I'm probably, I'm not going to tattoo this one on my chest, but we'll see. All right. So we got 2 more teams in that division?
Let's go the Chargers. Let's do the Chargers. This is one of my locks.
Oh, damn you. Okay. What's the number?
Secret. Number of the Chargers, 9.5. And they're going over, boys.
Ooh.
They are going over. Lock it down, Hayden. It's going down. There's a lot of things going under the radar about the Chargers. They get Joey Bosa and Derwin James back on defense, who they did not have last year due to injury.
They won't have Derwin James either this year. Don't worry about it. He gets hurt literally every year, but it's
probably. They did some serious work to their offensive line. They drafted that just mamma jamma from Northwestern.
They did Slater. I wanted him real bad.
Slater.
Took him right before the Vikes. Real
Yep.
pissed. Still pissed.
They signed Corey Linsley from the Packers in free agency at the center position. And they also signed another tackle for $21 million, Matt Filer.
Yep.
So they did some big work on the offensive line. So I'm thinking they're probably going to go 9.5, even if they don't get Julio. If they do get Julio, things could get really, really interesting in LA.
Julio is worth a win by himself. Chill out. That's not going to carry the weight.
Okay,
I actually agree with you, and this was also one of my locks, so I'm pissed that I went second.
They have a new coach. Hold on. One last thing. They have a new coach, Brandon Staley. I didn't know anything about him. Here's two things I know about him.
Right? Sorry to cut you off.
What's that?
He's yes. He's a defensive coordinator from the Rams, and I love everything about him.
Sorry, Here's the two most important things about him. I'm going to tell you right now. He's a cancer survivor, Hodgkin's lymphoma. So write that down. And also, smoking hot wife. His wife is unbelievable. And if you're looking to find out a coach that has some confidence, you look at his wife. You say, does this guy have a hot wife? Guess what? Brandon Staley's wife, she's a smoke show. This dude is going to be able to command a locker room. He's confident. He's poised. He's got Herbert. These boys are going over.
Wow. So a couple things that I agree with you on. So one, they were also one of my locks, so thank you for that. I love Herbert. Love what he did last year. I don't see a sophomore slump. I think additional health and the improvement on the offensive line is great. He was compared to Sean McVay, and it was basically he was the defensive Sean McVay. That is what he's been compared to. So yeah, smoking hot partner. Sure. Yeah. Sean McVay is also that. So good stuff. Look at you go. Look at the deep dives on the gram you did today. If they add Julio, that's great, but I still like their skill position players, man. I love Keenan Allen. I've talked about this. To your point, Joey Bosa coming back on defense. I think that's great. The thing we didn't touch on, and the real +5 attribute piece here, the best unis in the sport, and it is not close.
Yes.
Those powder blues are the truth, man. And that is, I would feel 76% better just like jogging on the field than those bad boys. So this is my third lock. I'm also taking the Chargers over. I think they probably win 11 this year. I think they win 11-6. I think they probably hit one of the wild card spots, and I think that nobody wants to play them in the playoffs.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. I won't say much else because I agree with all the points that you guys made. Improved offensive line. Herbert has weapons to throw to already, even without Julio Jones, and defense that's going to be getting better. So we can move on to whoever's next.
So, I mean, we have two teams left. We got the Raiders. We got the Broncos.
I'm going to have to lock one of these two teams up, by the way, which is just depressing.
God, man. See, that's you got to swing for the fences early. I'm going to let you lead then because you got to lock one of these two. So you pick the team, and then you lead these next two.
Hayden.
What are the numbers at for these two teams?
All right. So let's see. For the Raiders, you're looking at 6.5. Vegas does not believe in the Vegas Raiders.
This team is dog shit. I'm sorry. They're really bad.
You know what? Just because my other two locks are unders, and when this happens, I'm just going to look like a genius. I'm going to go over on the Raiders. Why not? You know?
Give me your best John Gruden impersonation as you go through the rest of it. Give me your reasoning in the most John Gruden voice.
I am not going to do that because I just don't want to really embarrass myself this early on in the process, but
nobody's listening.
Yeah, nobody. This is when you get out of the way. Come on.
You mean John Gruden's not going to be listening to this?
We're an hour in. If anyone's still with us, God bless you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know. So not doing the impression. I'll lock up the Raiders over. Why not? Screw it.
Yikes.
Can you at least finish the screw with man? Can you at least give me a man at the end of that? That's all I need. Give me the John Gruden man.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
All right. So then we got the Broncos. We got the Broncos 8.5. 8.5 seems to be a little artificially inflated because there was hope that there was going to get Rodgers. It's still at 8.5. So if we are as sure as we said we were that they're not getting Rodgers, there's a ton of value in going under 8.5 at Denver at this number.
Oh, Denver's not good. They're under. I've given you 3 locks. I'm going to give you a 4th lock with an E. Drew lock. They're under. They're not winning that many games.
Tried to defend them earlier. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be frisky. I think their defense, frankly, is good enough to keep them in some games that they should not be in. They're getting Von Miller back. You're going to get all that. Like, their defense is good enough that they're going to be like frisky. Because to your point, Vic Fangio is their coach. Fanny pack Vic Fangio. No, they're not going to win 9 games. Do I think that they're going to like annoy some people and like be closer than they should be in some games because they like get a fluky defensive touchdown and like he worked in some like coverage wrinkle that, you know, XYZ quarterback wasn't expecting? Yeah, sure. I think that'll probably happen. But no, they're not winning 9 games. Under
sometimes I think that talent and money gets wasted on defensive players when your offense is that bad, when they don't believe in the quarterback. You know how hard that is, like, emotionally.
Look at their 5 games, dude. Their first 5 games are the Giants, the Jags, the Jets, the Ravens, the Steelers. I mean, yeah, like, sure, yeah. I mean, they're not going to win 9 games, but they'll be competitive in 4 out of 5.
And to Aaron's point, like, it must be frustrating when Drew Lock throws an interception every drive and you're backed up at your own 14-yard line trying to defend that. Yep. So I'm going under.
Your numbers look like shit because you're working with a short field all the time. Like, that wears on you, man. That wears on a defense. So
absolutely,
I get that their defense is stacked. I see it, but if the offense can't figure some things out, I don't know. It's hard. It's a tough draw.
One of my favorite things is when you either like mic'd up. There was that play last year for the Bears when Trubisky was on the sideline, like trying to hype his dudes up. And there was like a defensive lineman in the back, like the Monday Night Football camera caught, who was just like absolutely side-eyeing this dude. Like, what is this dude talking about? And that's, to your point, 110% what happens, right? You see some bum just go out there and throw some trash throw. And it's like, all right, man, here we go.
Like, imagine what Von Miller's thinking when Drew Lock is like trying to give a pep talk. He's like, shut the fuck.
I think that's probably pretty fair. All right, so that wraps up the AFC over/under portion of the pod. For those of you who are still with us, thank you for your love and support. Greatly appreciate you taking time out of your lives to listen to this. Before we head into the NFC portion next week, give us a follow on Twitter at pre-snap motion. Also, if you have any questions you want answered by 3 guys who like maybe sort of know what they're talking about, presnapmotion@gmail.com is available to you for questions or well wishes. With that, before we close it out, Hayden, can you just give us a wrap on the what locks? Who'd everybody have?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back and get the numbers later on. But just to make sure everyone has got the teams right. Aaron, you got the over on Cleveland, the under on Pittsburgh, and the over on the Chargers.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Drew, you got the over on the Patriots, over on the Colts, and the over on the Chargers. Is that correct?
Overs only, baby. Overs only. I vote for winners. I back winners, right?
And myself, I have the Jets under, Pittsburgh under, and then the glorious Las Vegas Raiders with the over. So we'll see how that one plays.
I can't wait. Dude, I can't wait to give you so much shit about that Raiders over as we go throughout the
I can't wait till they go. Can't wait till they have 9 wins and win the division.
All right. Well, hey, with that being said, again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the love and support, and we will come back live at you next Tuesday evening.
See you there.
See ya.
Bye, Mom.